Well, welcome to Fight Week. How are you feeling this week?
Bem-vindo a mais uma semana de luta. Como é que você está se sentindo?
Obrigado. Eu estou me sentindo muito bem. Estou me sentindo confiante e espero agora fazer uma boa luta.
Thank you so much. Feeling great, feeling good, feeling very confident, and I hope to put on a good fight.
What have you been working on since we saw you last? Because I know that you're coming off a little bit of a skid. So what have you been working on to kind of improve and make sure that doesn't happen again this time around?
No que você tem trabalhado desde a última vez que a gente viu? A gente sabe que alguns resultados não vieram e a gente sabe que você gostaria de trabalhar em outras coisas. O que você tem trabalhado para que as coisas mudem?
Então, eu estou vindo de 2 derrotas, né? É um peso muito grande, mas eu tenho trabalhado bastante meu mental, porque essa luta, as 2 últimas lutas, por ter sido decisão dividida, eu não foi o que eu esperava. Então, eu trabalhei muito meu mental, voltei às minhas origens e agora eu estou me sentindo 100% de novo, igual eu estava no Contender.
Coming off of 2 losses, both of them. So after those, I've been working a lot on my mental aspect. Being both of them split decisions, that's not something you expect. So you need to work on your mental side to get back into the game. And I'm feeling great right now. I'm feeling 100%. I went back to my origins, and I feel as good as I was when I came in for Contender Series.
You mentioned, the mental aspect of the game. Do you feel like fighters don't pay enough attention to that mental side of the game, that they focus too much on the physical and forget about the mental?
Você fala no teu mental e você fala do aspecto mental do jogo. Você acha que alguns lutadores, talvez muitos lutadores, não prestam atenção nisso e acabam se focando tanto na parte física que esquecem o mental?
Eu tenho certeza disso, porque eu também não prestava atenção nisso, até que eu caí nessas 2 lutas, porque eu tive uma estreia tão boa no Contender que até eu não esperava para essa estreia. E chegou na minha estreia no UFC, pressão, o maior evento do mundo, você está no palco onde que você assistia os lutadores que você admira pela televisão e isso aí acaba abalando um pouco. E aí você é derrotado da primeira vez e é derrotado da segunda vez, você cai. E é o que aconteceu comigo. Aí eu caí, mas comecei a trabalhar meu mental, tive pessoas ao meu lado que me ajudaram bastante nisso e agora eu voltei a estar 100% de novo. E eu acho que todo atleta deveria trabalhar bastante o mental nisso, porque é bem difícil manter luta, condicionamento físico, mas se não tiver mental, não adianta em nada, coisa que aconteceu comigo.
For sure. I think a lot of athletes, it happened to me. You have such a great debut on Contender Series. Well, actually, you have such a good Contender Series fight. You're on top of the world, and all of a sudden you come here. So it's your debut, it's your pressure, it's fighting for the greatest organization in the world, and I'll have to get the best out of me. You end up with a loss, then you have the other loss. So a second loss actually adds up, and you need to actually work on it. I need to do that as well. You need to work on it and not just worry about the physical side. You need to go back to being whole again and to be the best of yourself. So you really need to focus on it. I did it. I've been with people that care about me as well. They help me out as well, and that's how I feel right now. I feel that right now I'm at 100% and gone back, so you can actually overcome those challenges. So working on mental aspects besides the physical is very important.
What do you think of your opponent? What were the first thoughts when you got the name?
O que você pensa do teu adversário? Quais eram pensamentos gerais, assim, as primeiras coisas que você pensou quando você falou assim, esse é o meu oponente, eu tenho que...
Cara, ele é muito duro. Eu pensava que o UFC não ia me pôr contra um cara tão bem assim, ranqueado, porque ele é o 22 do ranking. Eu pensava, por eu estar 22 derrotas, eu pensei que ia ser uma pessoa que está estreando. Mas eu fiquei muito feliz ao mesmo tempo, porque o UFC sabe o valor que eu tenho para ele pôr um cara de 22 do ranking para lutar comigo. Então, eu sei que ele é muito duro. Tenho que estar com o pé no chão, igual eu não estava nas 2 últimas lutas que eu lutei. Então, eu estou preparado, tenho que lutar com cautela com ele, porque ele é muito perigoso, é nocauteador também, igual eu. Só que essa luta vai ser uma luta muito boa, porque eu ganhando dele, que pode ter certeza, essa luta eu não vou deixar dar brecha para ele, e eu vou ganhar essa luta, isso aí é uma certeza absoluta. Vou nocautear ele, e eu tendo o pé no chão, cautela, eu vou ser vitorioso.
So he's a tough guy, really hard opponent. I was actually really surprised when the UFC just put me to fight against him. I mean, a guy that actually, he is somewhat, there's a spot in the rankings with him, and considered to be someone who has, he's in a pecking order in the division. What I think is that the UFC did that to me because they trusted me. That's the reason why they put an opponent that is tough, that is hard to overcome. I cannot sleep on him. I have to be very grounded, mentally, physically, and I think that I can't leave any loopholes or any openings for him because he's a guy like me. He likes to knock people out, and on the other side, winning this fight, and rest assured, I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to come out victorious. I'm going to have a knockout. When that happens, I think that the UFC, by having me beating a guy like him, I think they will see my value as well, and just it would be good for me to actually continue on my path.
Do you anticipate the fight going the full 3 rounds, or do you think it's going to be a quick finish?
Você antecipa que a luta talvez possa ir para 3 rounds, ou você acha que vai ser realmente uma vitória por via rápida?
Nocaute pode ter certeza que vai ser. Não, agora eu não posso te falar qual dos rounds, porque ele é muito duro, aguenta bastante porrada, mas eu vou pôr aí. Vai, põe aí, primeiro round, eu vou nocautear.
Listen, it's gonna be a knockout. Rest assured, it's gonna be a knockout. But I can't put my finger on where, because he's a tough guy. I mean, he can take a punch. But you know what? Write it down. First round, I'm gonna knock him out.
Last question for me. There's some flooding in Brazil, and I'm just curious if you or anybody you know has been affected, and if you have a message for your people to kind of motivate them and get them through this tragedy.
A última pergunta dela é relacionada às enchentes no Rio Grande do Sul, no Brasil. Você teve pessoas próximas de você ou que você conhece que foram impactadas pelas enchentes lá, e você poderia mandar uma mensagem a todos no Brasil que estão passando pelo que estão passando?
Cara, então, o que acontece lá no Rio Grande do Sul é uma catástrofe. A gente lá, até da minha cidade, é bem distante a minha cidade de lá, mas todo o Brasil está ajudando, a arrecadar alimento, água, e levando carretas, fretando um avião para levar para lá. Eu não tive familiar afetado, mas eu tenho amigos que foram ajudar lá, que foram participar de ajuda lá para resgatar pessoas, tudo. Então, o que eu quero dizer é que é para todo mundo ter força, porque tudo isso aí que acontece, mas o sol vai chegar para todo mundo e vai passar.
So, obviously, I'm far away. The city where I am is far away. I have not had any family that was affected by it. First of all, what's happening down there in the south of Brazil is catastrophic, and all of Brazil's pitching in. All of Brazil is giving money, donating food. There are, wherever there's accessible, there are truckloads of food coming down here and supplies. Also, there have been people that and organizations that have been chartering planes and sending things out there. I do have friends, though, they went down there to help. And all of us are pitching in to actually make sure that they're able to go through this. And it's gonna pass, and the sun is gonna shine for everybody. So stay positive.
That's a wonderful message. Just going back to your fight history, those 2 losses, the split decisions, does that hurt worse than just maybe a more decisive loss when you know that it comes down to just the judges?
Voltando pouco à tua trajetória aqui no UFC, as 2 derrotas por decisão não unânime, ou seja, as 2 foram 2-1. Machuca mais ou incomoda mais do que se fosse uma coisa mais definida, assim, já perdeu realmente claramente?
Não machuca não, porque eu vi que eu posso ganhar de qualquer pessoa aqui. Só que eu estava muito deslumbrado, eu não estava sendo o Vinicius que eu era antes, então não estava com o pé no chão. E isso, acho que Deus mostrou, falar assim, não, deixa esse moleque perder aí para tentar baixar a bola um pouco dele, para ele voltar às origens, para poder conseguir ter a vitória que é tão grandiosa que eu tô planejando para ele. Então, isso é o que aconteceu, mas perder por decisão dividida mostrou que eu posso ganhar de qualquer pessoa, mas é na categoria de baixo, e agora eu subi de categoria, eu estou mais forte, eu acho que isso vai ser até melhor para mim.
No, it doesn't hurt more. It just tells me that I can actually be up there toe to toe and fight anybody in the division, actually in the UFC, because I know what happened. I kind of feel like, well, I got too much of that limelight. I felt that I let it get up to my head, and I think that helps you ground yourself. I think God sent a message saying, I think this kid needs to have his feet on the ground and ground himself a little bit and go back to his origins, and that's what I'm doing. And also is in a different weight division, so I'm actually stepping up. I feel stronger right now. But if anything, a split decision just basically tells you that you can be up there and that you can face anybody in this organization.
And I know you said you're coming in, you're feeling confident, you got back to basics. That being said, though, do you feel any extra pressure? A lot of times fighters think that 3 losses is that ticket out of the UFC, but do you think about those, or is every fight unique, and are you not even thinking about those past 2 losses? This fight's a brand new fight.
Eu sei que você falou de voltar para as suas origens, se sentir bem agora, tá pronto para uma outra luta, outra divisão. Como é que você esquece as lutas que passaram, então? Porque algumas pessoas veem assim, 3 derrotas no UFC, às vezes é a minha passagem de volta e sair do UFC. Para você esquece que existiam essas 2 lutas e agora só foca nessa terceira, ou você usa elas como para a próxima?
Não, esquecer é impossível de esquecer. Você está no maior evento do mundo, esquecer que você tem 2 derrotas é a maior pressão que poderia ter um atleta, porque mais uma derrota que eu tiver, eu posso ser demitido se eu não me apresentar bem. Só que eu estou tentando deixar ela um pouco de lado para poder focar nessa luta, porque o que eu estou falando para esse camp é um passo de cada vez, um dia de cada vez, um round de cada vez. Então, eu lutando bem e ganhando dele, acabou. Eu renovo meu contrato, consigo pedir caras melhores. E aí sim eu vou conseguir falar assim, ufa, voltei para o jogo. Caso contrário, eu sou só mais um atleta no UFC. E não é isso que eu quero ser.
No, you can't. I mean, you can't forget the losses. This is the greatest organization in the world. You can't forget the fact you actually have 2 losses in the UFC. What you do, you put it aside, and you actually focus on the task at hand. So that's why I said to everybody in this camp, it's going to be step by step, day by day, round by round. And you want to get that win and then renew your contract and continue on your path. One of the things that happens when you lose and you actually get sent out of the UFC or in your room through the organization is that you're someone else, and that's not what I'm here to do. In the previous answer, I actually said it's not the grandiose path of victory that I have set out for myself. I want to be more. And that's not what I'm here for. So I want to win this, get my contract renewed, and move on.
That's great. Just 2 last questions. Yanez, people a lot of times think that he's one of the best, some of the best boxing in MMA. What do you think about his striking, and how dangerous do you think his hands are?
Só algumas perguntas. Muitos falam que o Ian tem um dos melhores boxes do UFC. Ou seja, o que você acha das mãos dele, o que você acha da trocação dele, o quão perigoso ele é e como é que você vai contra isso?
Vou te fazer uma pergunta. Você assistiu a minha luta no Contender? Ele pode ter o melhor boxe, eu sei. Ele pode ter a melhor defesa no UFC, mas o que vocês viram no Contender, eu acho que eu consigo trazer coisa diferencial a mais para poder nocautear ele e conseguir sair vitorioso.
Well, I have a question for you. Did you watch my Contender fight? I mean, he can have the best striking or best boxing, as you mentioned. He can have the best defense as well. But if you see my fight in Contender, I can bring in some things that can neutralize that, and that I can actually come out victorious.
Awesome. Well, that kind of leads into my last question. What are your keys to the victory? What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday?
Isso, basicamente, essa tua resposta já prepara a minha próxima pergunta agora. Então, quais são as suas chaves para a vitória? O que você tem que fazer para sair vitorioso no sábado?
cautela, porque ele tem a mão pesada. Isso aí a gente já viu que ele tem a mão pesada. O histórico de luta dele mostra isso. Então tem que ter cautela e trazer o Vinicius do contender. Trazer um Vinicius melhor que o contender, vamos pôr, porque eu tenho que ter cautela e muito poder de nocaute para nocautear ele, porque ele aguenta a porrada. Então tem que aguentar. Ele tem que ficar batendo, ter calma e cautela para não ser nocauteado e para nenhum soco dele entrar em mim. E assim sair vitorioso.
Cautious. To be cautious. Be cautious because this guy's a lot of firepower. You have to be cautious with the striking, with any chance that he can get to be offensive. You need to. I mean, I have to be the Vinicius that you saw in Contender, and actually, a Vinicius that's better than the one that you saw in Contender. The one that is cautious about things. Have to be patient. Have to be calm. Have to continue to hit him. You gotta touch him, and always cautious so the heat doesn't get in and none of his punches get through. All good? Tá liberado.
Well, I would ask you how you're feeling, but you look like you're in a very good mood. Can you just talk to me about what fight week's like for you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm in good mood, man. Feeling great. Yeah, the weight's good. So, yeah, I'm happy, man. Excited for Saturday.
Does it feel different being the co-main event during the fight week? Is there any different obligations, or does it feel like a little bit extra motivation or even pressure?
I don't think it's more pressure, but it is a better opportunity for me, you know, to get recognized and make a statement, you know, and try to get a crack as the top 15 ranking, man.
So tell me about hearing the opponent. What were your first thoughts when you got your opponent's name?
I mean, I never question when UFC give me any opponent, man. I just want to fight. I never question. It don't matter who, man. I just want to fight. I want to be active because if y'all see I only fight 2 times a year, and that's good, man. I mean, for an active fighter, 2 times a year is nothing. I mean, and I mean 2 times a year can't pay the bill. So for me, I mean, yeah, it don't matter.
Speaking of that, did you want a fight before?
I want to fight. I said it, man. I want at least 4 fights a year, man. Yeah, I'm not injured. So, yeah, I want to just fight.
Has it been difficult, do you think, to find people who want to fight you? Or is it more just that there's so many other fighters that they just can't possibly?
Well, I don't know what is the UFC agreement, but, I mean, I always on my IG asking for fight, yeah. So finally they give me Khaos Williams. So it's good. I never question. I just want to fight, man. It don't matter what name, who, where, and when. I just want to fight.
Was that a name that you had kind of in your mind? Is that somebody that you wanted to fight?
Well, I knew someday I will have to fight him, yeah. I knew someday. It was the same with Jeremiah Wells, too. I knew someday because we are in the same divisions, and someday we're going to meet, man.
What do you think of him as an opponent? What are his strengths and weaknesses?
Well, Khaos Williams, great fighter, very fast paced. He's a brawler. Same style like Jeremiah Wells, but he don't have the level of wrestling like Jeremiah Wells. But, I mean, he showed us bums, and he bring the fight to you, man. So, yeah, I'm excited, man.
Do you see this fight going the full 3 rounds, or do you feel like there's going to be a quick finish in there?
Well, not what I'm expected, but if it's going, if it was going to, not what I'm expecting, but I mean, I'm prepared for 3 rounds. Yeah.
Do you have kind of a game plan of how you'd like to see the rest of the year go? I know you said you want to fight a lot, but do you have some names in mind that you kind of see for the rest of the year playing out?
Oh man, right? Like, I mean, get a shot in the top 15. Guy like Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. Yeah, good names, good name.
Do you feel like you need to have a finish on Saturday to be able to call out those people, or do you feel like just a win in general would put you in talk for that?
Well, a finish is always a finish, man. I mean, it opened more eyes. So, I mean, every time I step in the cage, I try to get the finish. But if it go down to decision, man, I mean, the most important is the win. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for taking the time. Just to kind of piggyback off what you were talking about with Amy, wanting to be more active, getting the 4 fights a year, maybe not ideal, but did it give you a little bit of happiness, a little bit of joy that you're going to be that co-main event and more eyes will be on you, more exposure? So if you put on a great performance, for sure, the UFC is going to be calling more, be like, oh, that was great, give us more of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, when fighting at the co-main event, yeah, I mean, it make me more excited because it's a great opportunity for me, man. And I mean, normally the spectator they turn on, they only tune in for the main card. So yeah, that would be great, to get recognized worldwide, and make a statement there.
Yes, absolutely. And you mentioned kind of already having an eye on Khaos. Do you, as a team, study tape? Do you prepare? What's the strategy when you have an opponent? Do you watch film on them, or just more about what Harris is going to do?
No, we watch some video, and try to see some move, what we could capitalize off her, yeah. But I mean, like, nothing that would not make me, use put my game plan to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Where do you see your strengths in this fight?
Well, I'm all around the fighter, man. It don't matter, stand up, grappling, it don't matter. I have the tools all, man.
Yes, sir. Speaking of the tools, how has Vegas been? How were you able to acclimate here good? Use the PI at all? How has training been for this, leading up to this bout?
Yeah, training been great, man. Training, yeah. Well, I didn't went to the PI as yet, but after finish here, I would go down there and, do a session. Yeah, but training's been great, man. Great camp. Yeah, I'm ready. I feel good, happy, weight and point. So, yeah, man.
And that was mentioned as soon as you walked in here. It's great to see a fighter in such a good mood.
Weight and point. No suffering, man.
That's awesome. Well, good luck on Saturday, and they appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Have there been any? Did you reach out to the UFC and ask for any specific fighters, and then those fighters deny fighting you?
No, I never reach out and ask for a specific fight, but I tell my manager, ask anyone that who would accept fighting with me. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know, but the fighter they duck, right? But I don't know, but I just saying something.
I was going to say, because we feel like we see fighters a lot of times, they feel like they have to go on social media and call out their shots, and then hopefully it picks up some movement. Are there names? I mean, I'm sure you're happy with anybody the UFC gives you, but are there names out there that you want to definitely fight right after this one?
Yeah, I wanna get a shot of Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal is a good name too. Yeah.
Very exciting guys, tough
yeah.
name.
Yeah, man. To be at the top, you have to fight the tough guy. So yeah.
Well, and last question for me. I feel like people feel like Khaos tends to go very hard really quickly and then tends to kind of get a little bit slower as the fight goes on. Do you feel that you just need to weather the initial storm from Khaos, or do you think that he's going to be dangerous and there the whole 3 rounds?
No, he's dangerous the whole time because the KO punch is there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't matter, man. I'm there to fight, so yeah, nothing would be make me intimidated. Yeah.
So what would be your keys to the victory? What needs to happen on Saturday to make sure that you get the win?
Well, I mean, normally I when I step in the cage, I just analyze what he put and what he bring to the table to see what I could capitalize on. So yeah.
I love your accent. You should be like in a like a reggae band or something. You do any singing?
Reggae band back in the days, yeah.
Sing.
Okay.
What did you have like any particular artist that you would cover?
Oh well, from we're from South America, but in Guyana they have the Caribbean culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sing me a little lyric. What was
We
it? What was
like-
your go-to lyric?
Like Iwani and those. I love to see my people living in love. I hate to see the fighting and swimming in blood. Love to get the farming, scorn in the mud. Yeah, they want to be the fat to keep the food as it, but oh, the affiliate with church.
I love it. That's good shit. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now we know what you're doing after your fighting. That's it. You go back to the singing. Go back to the music. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
but it was a long time, man. I mean, before I started fighting, I tried a lot of things. Yeah, I just wanted to have a good life, so I try everything that could give me the possibility, to get a break at something.
Well, the great thing about music, it never leaves you.
Yeah, I work in the mine. I work as a painter. I work as a constructor. Yeah, everything before. And then before I get to fighting, I was mechanic. I did mechanic. I used to overhaul engine and those stuff.
What was the toughest job you've ever done?
Oh, the toughest job. Well, I used to work like loading container. Loading containers, so yeah.
So that was strenuous. I would think that working in the mines was probably the toughest.
Yeah, because working in the mine, I mean, it have the malaria and those stuff, but nah, it's working like loading those big ship,
Yeah.
The contain and ship, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's dangerous.
Thank you very much. Good luck on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right, well, welcome to Fight Week. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. I'm happy to be here, happy to be in Las Vegas, first fight in America. I'm just taking it all in. I'm watching these guys eat good food all week, but that's killing me. But other than that, I'm all good.
There's no good food here in Vegas, don't worry. I'm just kidding. I was just trying to make you feel better.
I've been here before, so I know the food. I know the food.
So, first fight in the United States and your main event. That's got to be kind of a special feeling for you, right?
Yeah, it's massive. I visited Las Vegas in 2016 to watch McGregor and Mendes, and then since then I've always thought this is a place where I'll need to fight. This is the fight capital, and now we're here.
So what were the first thoughts when you first heard your opponent and then heard it would be a main event and heard it would be here? Did you hear all of that at the same time, or was it kind of, did you learn it in waves?
Literally, it was a text. The matchmaker wants you to fight Edson Barboza 5 rounds. And my thoughts was, wow, this is my opportunity, this is my breakthrough, this is my time to shine now.
Is there extra pressure going in knowing that it's main event, everyone's eyes are on you, you're fighting a legend?
Not really the aspect of being main event. That's not really, it's who I'm fighting is more so the big thing. I'm fighting Edson Barboza, legend of the sport, dangerous fighter, and that's what excites me, yeah.
Have you had to kind of separate the fact that he is a legend, because you're going to go in there and fight him? You don't want to show him too much respect, I imagine. Have you had to kind of not think of him in the way that you have thought about him in the past because of that?
I feel like that's going to make me fight better, because it's going to add that fear factor which I need. I know, looking at my previous fights, if I don't have that fear factor, I don't perform. So I feel like that's going to bring the best out of me. But obviously I'm not going to be showing him too much respect in there. It's a fight's a fight.
What are some of the weaknesses that you've seen in him?
I feel like everybody's got weaknesses. I don't know. He's very good sound fighter. I feel like if he loses his fights, it's usually to grappling, right? To wrestlers, but I'm not a wrestler, so it's going to be a striking fight.
How has your camp been different for this fight than maybe another one, being that it's 5 rounds?
My camp's been pretty much the same. But we've probably done more sparring this camp. Other than that, it's the same work ethic that I normally put in, and everything's gone well.
Are you expecting the fight to go the full 5 rounds? I mean, I know you probably are preparing for that, but is that something you actually think might happen?
Yeah, of course. You can't look past the facts that he's been in there with the best of the best in the world over 5 rounds before. So obviously, I hope to get him out of there. That's obviously the plan, but we'll see how it goes.
And the UFC is going to Manchester. Is that something that a fight card you'd like to fight on? Is it even possible, depending on how this fight goes, that you could turn around and be on that card?
Yeah, of course I want to be on that card. It's Manchester card. I'm a Mancunian. I say it again, the only Mancunian on the roster ever, born and bred. So it would only be right for me to be on there, but I think it's 6 weeks away. Mm-hmm. Is it 6 weeks away? So obviously I'm in a 5-round fight. I don't expect to fight on there, but if we can get through this fight unscathed and a win, then I'll definitely be asking the matchmaker to put me on.
There's also been some talk about that card because of the timing of when it's going to air here for us. It's not an ideal time for all the fans there. What are your thoughts on that?
I think obviously it would be better if it was on English time, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's predominantly American viewerships, right, who buy in pay-per-view, and have give the UK fans that pay-per-view card, which is going to be like an amazing card, right? So I feel like you just got to take the good and the bad, the rough with the smooth, and yeah, it's all right.
And what are you going to eat when you're done with the fight?
So I've been watching these guys, Jordan and Carl, eat everything. So my first on the list is a Mexican place. We went, I watched them eat the Mexican. We're going to go there. Then we're going to go get some pizza. Probably like 5,000 calories in the night.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Lerone, has it been frustrating not being able to be as active as you want? It feels like, you get a big win, everybody's talking about you, you're the future of this division, and then you're out for a little bit, and everybody forgets about you. You come back to the same thing. It's kind of rinse and repeat. Has that been frustrating?
Super frustrating, super frustrating. It's just like, yeah, like you said, stop and start, stop and start. I can't get no momentum behind me, but everything happens for a reason. Where anything, like literally anything, and that's the way I see life now, because that's why it's been a blessing of things I've gone through in the past, because that's how I see life. Everything happens for a reason, to put you onto a better path. And I feel like now is the time. And even if I got this fight 3 years ago, maybe I wouldn't have been ready, but now I feel ready.
It feels like injuries have kind of followed you for a little bit. Is that just because you spar hard, you train hard, or is it just kind of just bad luck?
I would say bad luck more so than anything. I feel like everybody trains hard at this level, and I've just come across a bit of bad luck and maybe not having the right physiotherapy, conditioning, strength and conditioning, coaching and stuff like that. I feel like all that will help, but getting to the PI and being around these guys and just learning little bits from here, hopefully I can take that back and stay healthy.
Feels like whoever beats Edson Barboza really takes a big leap in their career. So what does a win over a UFC legend like Edson Barboza do for you?
Exactly that. That puts me up there, solidifies my name, puts me among the elite of the elite, and gives me a shot at that top 10 afterwards.
Who's winning this weekend between Tyson Fury and Usyk?
I'm gonna back the Mancunian, Tyson Fury.
Do you think he stops him, or do you think it's going to be a close fight?
I think it goes the distance.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
He mentioned the injuries, and I tried to go back and try to figure out, and I don't know if it was said, why you had to pull out of the Ige fight before an injury, but I don't know if we knew what that injury was. Are you comfortable telling us what that was, or is that people know what that injury was already?
Yeah, it was a shoulder injury. Wrestling, I hurt my shoulder wrestling maybe 4 weeks before the fight, and it was only fair, like I couldn't train, like there was no way I could train for the fight, so maybe I could have waited till fight week and done that, but it's not fair on the other guys to not fight. They need to put food on the table for the family and stuff like that. So the team made the decision that we'll pull out of the fight, and yeah, we're here now today.
And like you said, a lot of those things are just bad luck. They're just fluke accidents. It wasn't like it was anything training that you needed to change training-wise. It's just one of those things that happens in training, right?
Yeah, it's just part of the sport. We do like some vigorous training, the wrestling, the sparring, like it's high intensity. Do you know what I mean? So people always get injured. It's just part of the sport, and I've just got to take it like that. But yeah, we're working on it. We need to be active. I'm trying to get 3-4 fights in a year. That's my goal. Never done that before with the UFC. So that's my main goal, yeah.
And we always hear from fighters, training tends to be the hardest part. The fight camp, the fight's the actual fun part because you're grinding so much in training. Does that feel the same way for you, that the fight's actually the fun part? You finally can celebrate all the hard work in a fist fight?
I enjoy the training. Yeah. Probably, I like the fight, but the fight's the business end, right? So yeah. The fight's the business end. There's always a lot riding on the fight. So, yeah, I enjoy both though. That's what I'm here for. That's what I live for.
It was brought up. You're fighting like a living legend. The guy if this is going to be his 30th fight in the UFC. Are there things still about him Are there still surprises to be found by him? I mean, can he surprise you, or is there just too much tape out there that you've seen everything possible from this guy?
I feel like anybody can surprise you on the day. It's MMA. Like, you just don't know what you're gonna get. If you're watching a boxer that's fought 30 times, you know what you're gonna get. Like, there's gonna be no new tricks. But with MMA, there's so many different aspects to the sport that you just never know. But yeah, like you said, there's 30 fights in the UFC. A lot of tape. I've been watching tape of Edson Barboza from before I'd done MMA, before I even started training. So I see a lot of the stuff he does, but even now you see that people still can't stop it because he's so good at it. Yeah, so we've been working on that though, and I'm ready to go. Can't wait.
Yeah, and when you look at the UFC rankings now, Ige is like 13th, Barboza is like 12th. So you're actually getting a higher ranked fighter now and a little tougher. Do you think that's enough? With a decisive win here, do you just swap? Do you take that 12 spot, or do you think it's possible enough that it might boost you into the top 10, possibly?
I think it goes down to how you win the fight. and if you win the fight by stoppage, then they're going to put you higher up the rankings. Yeah, so I feel like this fight's a bigger fight than the Ige fight, not because he's better than Ige, but just because of his name and obviously he's higher ranked. So yeah, it's a blessing to get this opportunity.
And what are your keys to the victory? What needs to happen to make sure you get your arms raised on Saturday?
Keys to victory for me would be to be defensively sound and pick my shots correctly.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my man, for taking the time.
Yeah.
You mentioned with Amy, and I love the quote, it's my time to shine. You getting this call from the UFC to get this main event, how much more did that boost your confidence and just really solidify the belief that you have in yourself? Like, yeah, I'm that dude. You put me on the poster, I'll show up.
Yeah, I've always had that belief that I should be here. Like I said before, it's just been like the stop and start that's held me back really, and the inactivity. But I've always thought I can get here one day to the main event, but it's actually my time to shine, and I have to put on a performance on Saturday night. Like there's no two ways about it. For one, for my own safety, I have to perform, and two, they've put me main event now, so there's no messing about. You can't be in like no boring fights. I want this opportunity again.
Yes, sir. And how high was it on the bucket list to fight in Las Vegas, to be the billboard, the main event, right there with Manchester? Like, how high up was it? Like, okay, wow, this is really happening. I did it. Check that one off the bucket list. I'm the main event in Las Vegas, fight capital of the world.
Yeah, it's definitely on the high up the bucket list. I've always wanted to fight in Las Vegas. I've always wanted to be main event. So that's 2 ticks off the bucket list. But I need to go out there and win. That's the main thing, right? Winning in Las Vegas, winning in the main event. And then Manchester's right up there as well. I want to fight everywhere. I think this sport's about experiences that you bank. So I want to fight all over the world if possible.
Sir, how has the transition been with you, not just as a professional athlete and a UFC fighter, part of this MMA community, but now the media stuff, the whirlwind of like camera, question. You got to find that new gear. Has that been anything interesting to show now you got to promote yourself too, to get more eyes to tune in and not just showcase your abilities, but also be a guy that people could say, you know what, I like him. I'm gonna follow him. I'm gonna tune in more often.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I feel like it's an area that I definitely need more work in, self-promotion and stuff like that. But I'm here to fight at the end of the day. That's what I love doing. That's the most important thing for me. And I've seen fighters similar to me that have gone on and do well, like Leon Edwards. He's a similar person to me, and he's gone on to do well without all of that stuff. So it's possible, isn't it?
Yes, sir. And last for me, just let me kind of like really lock into this. When you mentioned UFC 189 with Mendes and Conor McGregor, is this kind of like a full circle moment that you are here and Conor's fighting next month in Las Vegas? Like, you're just like, man, like I just saw them fight. It's still, I'm sure, has a special place in your heart. But now you're like right there on back to back with some of the biggest stars. How crazy is that?
Yeah, it is crazy. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and just be grateful. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like sometimes I almost think it should be expected, but it's not. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And I have to pinch myself and be grateful. But yeah, it is nuts. It's crazy, but it don't stop here. I feel like I'm just getting onto the ladder now, and there's way more bigger things that I can do and places I can get to.
Excellent, sir. Well, I can't wait to see it, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Done. Thank you, yeah.
Ramiz,
What's up?
how you feeling?
Ooh, I feel good, man. I think good, amazing, all these words are not enough to describe how I'm feeling. I'm just happy.
You've been out for a minute. For everybody that does not know, where have you been?
In hiding. I've been in the tunnel. No, I'm joking. Just recovering from a nasty injury. I had some back-to-back injuries. Had to tend to them, and yeah, I'm back. Been a while out, but I've been cornering, and the second that I got cleared to train, I started training again and handling business and coming back to what I love, you know, and my calling. So I'm excited. I feel reborn, and I'm here. That's it.
How tough was it to not do the thing that you love to do?
It's tough. It comes with the territory, you know. When you can't do something you love and something that drives you and gives you so much passion and so much, it's brought you so much good in life, it sucks. But it just made my love even greater for this sport and for what I do, for my job, for every single thing. My appreciation has gone through the roof. You know, for even Vegas, believe it or not. Like, I usually hate Vegas. I'm like, dude, I can't stand going to Vegas. God, you know, but I love Vegas, man. It's like my love for everything has my love and my appreciation for everything has gone through the roof, and I feel reborn, you know. I'm alive, man. That's it.
So with all that being said, you know, going through your injury, not being able to fight, how does it feel knowing you're going to be in that cage on Saturday finally?
You know, pinch me. I'm dreaming. No, I'm joking. It's gonna feel amazing, man. That's my home, and this place is my home, and I'm happy. I'm excited, man. It's surreal. It's gonna feel amazing.
And it's the UFC, so they don't give you a softball for a warm-up fight. They give you Themba. What do you think of the matchup?
I think it's a great matchup. I think me and him, we match up very well against each other. Yeah, I think he's tough. I think he's got a lot of good stuff that he does. Just excited, man. I can't wait. I got a lot of surprises, so I'm excited.
How do you get your hand raised on Saturday?
A lot of different ways. But the most important thing is that I'm going to get my hand raised. That's it.
How important was your coach safe and your teammates in your time away to like keep you going?
You know, Coach, he's pretty hard, and you know, he gives a lot of tough love, and he's a very straightforward guy. You know, sometimes it's disagreements that happen and this and that, but ultimately, you know, he has your best interest at his heart, and that's a characteristic that not a lot of people have in this day and age. So I think he played a very big role in you know, keeping me calm and just keeping me level-headed and keeping me present, ever present in the moment. You know, taking it day by day, second by second, step by step, and it brought me to where I'm at here. You know, along with my team, my beautiful family, my faith in God, and I'm here. I'm just happy, man. That's it. That's all I could say, legitimately.
Sharing the car with your teammate Victor, how does that feel?
Amazing. I think we're gonna get 2 beautiful back-to-back wins and keep the team's momentum going. And that's it, you know, keep the momentum going, keep the ball rolling, and just back like I never left. And that's it.
Grab your back.
My guy.
I just was wondering, was there ever a moment where you felt like you were not going to be able to fight again?
Yeah, there was. You know, I'm human. You know, you have all these emotions that run through your head. You have these thoughts, and some of them are bullshit, some of them are real. But you just filter through it, and the thing with me is I just push out the negative. It is what it is, you know? That's it. It is what it is, and I just have to keep myself steadfast and understanding that no matter what, I'm going to be good, and I am going to be good. That's just the way that I look at it. So that stuff was just a precursor to get me to where I'm at right now and to make me who I am right now. So like I said, I'm excited because what it's done for me is amazing.
Did you ever get to the point where you kind of had to picture your life without fighting? Like, what would your life have looked like if you hadn't been able to fight? Did you get to the point where that was really something you thought about?
Yeah. I could sit here, I could shed a tear, I could be all emotional and angry and have everything going through me, but that's not the way that I choose to look at it. I look at it like this: no matter what, no matter how life pans out, it's all how you look at it and what you make of it. You understand? So I came to terms with fighting again. I came to terms with not fighting again. I knew my life was going to be good, be great either way. At the end of the day, even if I had to make the necessary adjustments with my injury and had to live with it, had to do all of that stuff, I was going to do it. If I was going to fight again, I was going to do it. I was going to make the adjustments, whatever it takes, essentially. 1 or 100 or 1,000, whatever it is, I'm going to do it, no matter what. And I adapt, I overcome, and that's it. That's just who I am as a human being. And I think that that's why it's brought me to this place that I'm at now, you know, where I just find a peace and a calm, and I enjoyed every single day of this training camp, and now I'm enjoying every single day of this fight week. Leading up to that fight, I'm going to enjoy every single minute, every single moment. Walk into that octagon, being inside of that octagon, handling business up until I get the job done Saturday night. That's it.
Is there any uncertainty about how you might perform with such a long layoff? I know there's like a lot of people think there's ring rust. Some people think that's just mental. What's your thoughts on that, just on the layout?
You know, I'm sure that there's stuff, but I trust my preparation enough. I trust everything that I've been through enough that I'm going to be guided there, and I'm just going to lock in, get in my zone, and that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You letting the hair grow for fight?
Oh, yeah. Letting the dreadlocks grow. I like it, man. My mom thinks I'm handsome now. You know, she said I look like a killer when I have my hair short. I would scare my niece and nephew too much, so I had to let the hair grow out a little bit. Locks for love, baby.
Looks good, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Just a quick one for me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Welcome back. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Fighters have been so open and just so like brutally honest with us. If you don't mind me asking, when it's a loss or an injury, you truly find out who got your back, who
Yeah.
your friends are. Did you have those moments, that epiphany, like, man, we aren't as good friends as I thought we were?
Yeah, for sure. You know, but one thing that I've learned, and I'm not trying to be like the wise owl here or anything like that, life in all of its circumstances, no matter how hard they may be, or even good, a lot of times, I'm a testament to this, a lot of times through my darkest hours and through the most turbulence, whatever you want to say, I've come to find out who other people are, but most importantly, who I am, you know? And I think you got to be your biggest hero. You got to be your biggest supporter. You got to have your back more than anybody else has your back, because ultimately, you're the only person that's in your skin. You understand me? You're the only person that goes to sleep at night with your thoughts, with your feelings, with everything. And look, I'm not superhuman. I'm a regular person at heart. You understand? I'm a very normal person. But if I could give any words of encouragement to anybody, is that if I could do it 100%, anybody else could do it, man. You understand? And if you have doubts about how you look, how you feel, what other people think about you, you know, pardon my French, but fuck all that. You understand? Forget it. Who cares about that stuff? Be confident, be comfortable in who you are, trust the process, and stay the course, most importantly, you know? Because a lot of beautiful things happen with that, and I've noticed a lot of beautiful things happening in my life. After the dark clouds and the rain, always comes sunshine, so it's good. I'm happy.
Man, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I agree 100%, and I think we all need to hear that every once in a while.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck
I
on
might
Saturday.
write philosophical books once I'm done fighting. I'm joking. Thank you, guys. Love you, Mom. I'll see you soon. Bye, baby.
battle. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get to the part going to battle. You know what I'm saying? You gotta talk that shit.
All right, you mentioned battles.
Yeah.
It's about to go down this weekend, man. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling great. Feeling great, man. Just happy to be back. Happy to go in there Saturday and put on the show.
When the name came across with the contract and you saw who your opponent was, what was the feeling like? Were you excited? Were you like, okay, we're going to meet in the middle, we're going to handle business?
Yeah. I mean, when I seen who it was, man, I was just like, I didn't really care who it was for real. I was just like, man, let's get it. I'm ready now, you know. And when I seen who it was, I was like, oh yeah, man. You know, he's just somebody that's in the way. But I seen, like, when I looked him up after I accepted the fight before I really even knew who he was. But after I looked at him, I'm like, okay, man, you know, we got a fight on our hands, you know.
And, you know, I don't know if you saw when we talked to Harris, but he kind of felt similar, was complimentary to your style and how you guys mesh up well. So if you guys both have the same mentality, we're about to get a real barn burner on our hands.
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
Does it get you a little bit more up for the fight, or regardless, you're going to bring it, give us 100% that your co-main event? Does that make a difference at all?
Man, regardless, I'm going to bring it, whether I was the first fight, the last fight, co-main, I'm going to bring it, just like I'm the main event, you know?
I saw you have to, you know, kind of tuck it, I get it, but it's going to be a little Mamba mentality this week?
Absolutely, man, absolutely.
Without giving away too much of the game plan, Khaos, what are your advantages this weekend? What do you see when you guys study tape, you and the team, when it comes to Harris, like, okay, this and this and this is where I got the edge on this dude?
Sure, it's I mean, pretty much everything, man, to me. You know, I feel like people sleep on my grappling a lot. They don't get to see it because people don't get that close to me like that. They don't really get a chance to really get me down, take me down, and hold me down because of that's what I started with, my Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And then when it comes to the striking, I'm not really getting outstruck like that. And I mean, as far as the strength, man, I know how strong I am. So, and my IQ, I've been doing this for a minute now. So, I mean, you know, I got the IQ as well. You know, I'm a pretty calm, smart fighter. So, I mean, everything that's there, I just feel like I'm the better fighter, and I'm about to go show that.
All right. You're not unfamiliar to the Apex. It's kind of like a homecoming. How good does it feel to be back in Vegas? How has, you know, Sin City treated you?
Man, it's feeling great, man. You know, they done brought the Apex Predator back, and I'm the co-main event, so now I got to show that they made a great decision and put on for everybody watching.
Right on, man. And last but for me, what can we expect on Saturday? What are you going to give the fans this weekend? 15 minutes, hard in the paint, or maybe a finish?
Man, I'm ready to go 15 minutes, but just like I said before, all my fights, man, I don't see none of my fights going the distance. Like, when I go into a fight, I don't see none of them go the distance. Like, I just feel like whoever in front of me, man, like, this guy's not about to last. You know, all it takes is one shot, and if he make a mistake, and you know, whether I submit him or whether I test that chin out and take his soul from his body, like, he ain't not going to last. But I know you can't knock everybody out, and I don't go into the fight like, oh, I'm about to knock everybody out, but that's just what I plan on doing. I don't want it to go to decision.
Man, I can't wait. Best of luck on Saturday. Sir.
Thank you.
It's been about a year since we've seen you. I think almost to the day.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
It's like a homecoming, man. I've been fighting back to back to back. Pretty much, I just been getting things in order, man. As far as my mental, as far as, you know, just a lot of stuff. Like, I always try to make sure everything is intact, you know what I mean? My financial, physical, just like emotional, just everything, you know, because me, like, I'm the type of fighter, like, when I go into that fight, like, I want to be 110% locked in. You know, I want to be tunnel vision focused, make sure everything is in order, you know, as far as, like, my investments. I don't want to be stressing about nothing. I don't want nothing to go, like, you know, it's fight week, I'm arguing with somebody or any of that. Like, I want to, like, everything to just be, like, I'm locked in. I ain't worried about nothing but this fight, and that's just... Every time y'all see me, y'all can trust and believe I'm 100%, 110% locked in and ready to go.
So that year off was a choice that you made. It wasn't that it was hard finding fights or injuries or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Khaos. So, you know, obviously you started your career fighting 3 times a year. Then you did 2, and then you've only fought once in the past 2 years. Are you hoping to get back to fighting maybe 2 or 3 times a year, or?
Absolutely, man. Everything is intact now. You know, I done had them bonuses, you know, and that put me ahead a little bit. Made a couple investments, and then played with a little bit, and now it's time to get back to business.
Has it been frustrating, you know, knowing that, like, you have these highlight knockouts that everybody knows. Everybody knows of your knockout of Halsan and Moreno. But then you're not fighting for a whole year and people just forget about it, right? Like, is that frustrating at all to you?
Man, not really, man, because, you know, it's just like any sport, man. You got the fickle people in any sport. So the people that's rocking with me, they rocking with me. You know, and then when I do fight, man, it's like they ain't seen me fight in a minute. So I got the hood, I got everybody watching that's my fans. Like it's like I'm bringing everybody together. It's like a celebration, you know. So, man, but I'm gonna definitely put out more, man. This 2024, man, starting with this fight this Saturday, man. Just trying to give everybody what they've been waiting on, man. But sorry for the wait, everybody.
It's okay. It's okay. And then finally, before the career's all done, are we gonna see you fight an ox or fight a bull or something?
Hey, man, you never know, man. You never know. The money, right? All right.
For a second, I thought you were about to weigh in right now. Man, you're fight ready, Angie. What's going on?
I didn't get to drink my water yet. Gotta stay hydrated.
Looking great, feeling good. How's everything? How's the vibe in Vegas? How you doing?
Good. It's the normal vibe. You know, a lot of hurry up and wait. A lot of hanging out in the hotel room, wishing that it was time to weigh in and eat yet already. I mean, but yeah, the vibe's been chill. Everyone on the fight card seems really happy to be here. And I think that's always the case when you have a card like this, where there's a lot of people trying to make names for themselves. This is one of those cards where you see a lot of up-and-comers just kind of bursting onto the scene. And that bonus is up for grabs, so everyone's kind of feeling themselves right now.
For sure. And it doesn't hurt to have a established fighter, a young veteran, if you will, to kind of, carry the card also and have some name recognition on that main card. How does it feel that the UFC recognizes that? So does ESPN Plus, that they put you on there to lead into the main card because they know that you and Luana are going to probably, bring down the house.
Yeah, I've been calling it in my head the people's co-main event, but I think it's gonna be a crazy fight, and the way that she fights, the way that I fight, I think it's a recipe for a slugger, for a barn burner of a scrap, and the girls always bring it too, or at least some girls bring it. But this is, I think they put a lot of faith in us bringing it, and that's kind of how I expect the fight to go already. I know I'm going to come forward, and she is too, so we're just going to crash in the middle and see what happens.
Excellent. Can't wait for it. And you kind of beat me to the punch. When you saw that name come across on the contract, any hesitation to sign? Were you excited to say, we're going to mesh well? This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little hesitation just because I had just met her a few weeks ago, and she was planning on moving to San Diego, I think, or just coming out to train a bit. And so that part always sucks because you get to meet the person before you punch them in the face, and you're like, they're nice. But, you can't turn down a fight just because someone's maybe going to come train with you, So it was cool to get the name just because I felt confident about it. And, yeah, it's one of those matchups where you see him in the top 10 and you're like, man, that'd be a good one for me, So hopefully I'll be able to show that on Saturday and get that momentum, keep the momentum going from the last fight.
Absolutely. How much would it mean to get that win besides cracking the top 10? Because props to her for, defending that ranking, but now it definitely gives you that ability to get right back in there, couple more title contention before you know it, and it gets you back on track where that goal is.
Yeah, I'd love that. It's also a tough test for me because she's young, she's aggressive. I'm proving a lot to myself just by getting in there and beating up on someone like that. So if this is what the top 10 looks like, I'm really feeling confident about it. You have a lot of younger up-and-coming fighters in the top 10 now. Before it was kind of like a stalemate with all the people from my generation who had made it or fought for the title. They were all just bogging it up. But now you have people like Lupi, who I beat, people like Ricci up there. And I feel like there's a lot of names for me to match up against now that I haven't already fought.
And you have been there, done that. We've seen you main event on the poster, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Was this a little bit of it's nice to downshift back to 3 rounds at all, or do you have a preference?
Oh, yeah, 3 rounds is a breeze, compared to 25 minutes, that's a long time. I can't even meditate for 25 minutes, fighting for 25 minutes is long. But it's good for me because I have to start fast. I can't chill for a round, see what's going on, and then start my game plan. I just have to jump in there and get going. And I think whenever I get into a fight right as the bell rings, then I usually have a better fight, or at least a more exciting fight. That's usually when I get a bonus if I don't lose, or if I don't win. That's usually when I get a bonus. So I think whenever I fight like that, I'm just on my A game, and I think this is the type of fighter that's going to bring it out of me.
That's excellent. And last for me, you've been in Vegas before. You have a routine, I'm sure. Great team behind you. But I know you're still a student of the game, and you love what you do. What new tricks? What can you show us this weekend? What can we look forward to?
I can't tell you that. I've just been putting a lot of my time and effort into my grappling, and every time I get out there, I feel like it looks a little better. But aside from that, I just think I've been blending everything well. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel more like an MMA fighter than anything. Like when I go to Muay Thai sparring, I'm like, ooh, I'm an MMA fighter. This feels weird, And same when I grapple. So I feel like I've really come into my own a little more each camp, and this one's gonna be more of the same.
That's awesome. One follow-up, sorry. Another thing we've been able to see now is you shine on the social media stuff, on the mic, if you will, with Jessica. How fun has that been and added to your game, if at all? You guys doing your Two Straws and everything.
Yeah, doing our little Two Straws podcast. It's really helped me hone my skills when it comes to talking about fights. I feel like my knowledge of fights, like my library in my head to pull from, is a lot bigger. And it gives me a lot of things to try in the gym. Like I'll watch something, or I'll watch tape on someone, and I'll just be like, man, what was that choke? Or man, what was that kick? And then I'll try it in the gym, and if it works, I'm like, oh, that's my move now. So that part really helps, just analyzing stuff, being able to do it with such a fun co-host as my training partner, Jessica Penne. She, it's been a lot of good practice for transitioning into that after I'm done here fighting, punching people.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and good luck on Saturday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What's with the UFC throwing Brazilians at you?
I don't know. Brazil. I thought Brazil liked me, but they're like, one more. Let's see what happens with this one.
Obviously back at the Apex, fought in enemy territory last time. How was that experience? And now that you've had some time to reflect on that win, how do you feel about it?
It was actually really fun. I enjoyed going to Brazil. I was sad I didn't get to go somewhere again for this fight. But being in Sao Paulo was fun. I had a little entourage, and my coach, Johnny, and then my teammate, Wilson Hayes, were both there. They were both from Sao Paulo. So I felt really taken care of. I felt like, I wasn't on the hit list. No one was gonna drop something in my water or try to mess up my gloves or anything backstage. But the Brazil crowd was really cool. There was only one moment that they said "U vai morrer" during my fight, and then they were very respectful after that. So I was happy about that. But I had a lot of fun in Brazil. I love traveling for fights. I'm hoping to travel for the next one, whether it's in America or somewhere else. But the whole point of being able to do this is to get out there and meet people. So whenever I'm in the Apex, I'm a little sad about the fact that you don't get that fan interaction. You don't get to feed off of their energy in the arena. But winning this is gonna get me that opportunity to do that.
And finally, you shut down another young contender, or I guess a little young prospect. It kind of seems like that's your game. You just kind of, they think they're going to get one up on you, and you shut them down. Is this kind of the same storyline coming into this fight?
Yeah, she's a young prospect. She's trying to shut me down. I'm trying to shut her down. I think I have the skills to do it. I think if you watch tape, you'll see it in most of my fights that I usually end up on top when it comes to fights like that. I'm just I got that dog in me, you know. That's what they say. I got that dog in me. If you have any moments in the fight, don't lean on that because I'm gonna get a bunch back. And you know, I still think back to that Lemos fight and what would have happened if the judges had seen it my way. I think back to a lot of my close decisions, and if anything, that just tells me that I have to push that much harder to get those wins and to get those dominant wins, to get finishes even. Like that's the biggest goal. And if anything, someone who's a little green, who's a little overly eager to finish you, they're going to give you the opportunities to finish them. So I think if anything, it's kind of a blessing that I keep getting these fights because it's like, okay, almost there, 1 inch closer. Okay, I'm going to get him this time. And I think that's going to be the thing that really sets me apart from the rest of the strawweights in the top 15 if I'm able to put a couple finishes together in a row.
And then finally, it's been 5 fights since that Amanda Hemos fight, but also 5 fights since your last split decision. So hopefully, no more split decisions ever, ever. Are you hoping that?
I put the split decisions behind me. They never happened. Yeah, I just. It's something that I can't focus on. It's like the rankings. It's like you know, whatever. I can't focus on things I can't control. What I can control is being dominant or trying to be dominant, being active, being aggressive, not sitting back when there's a lull in the fight or taking advantage of those moments, changing things up. Just getting in their face as much as possible. Like those are the things I can control, and whether they see a fight for me or not, like I just have to focus on the performance. So yeah, obviously, hopefully I don't lose in a dumb way like that. But but what I'm more concerned about is just, you know, how I perform. I know what I can do. I know what I'm capable of. So I just want to put that on paper on Saturday night and show people that I belong.
Hi, Angela.
Hey.
I'm just curious. There's been some rumors recently about the future of Invicta. Is it continuing? Is it not? I'm just wondering if you can talk to me about what that promotion means to you and what it means to women's MMA.
It was a big proving ground. When I got into the UFC, it's ancient history now, but when I got into UFC, I only had one fight. It was some random promotion in backwoods in North Carolina, and then I went on tough. I lost a couple and then got cut. Invicta scooped me up right away, and because it was such a proving ground, I remember back when I would look at what internet trolls say, everyone was like, oh, she's going to do horrible in Invicta. She's going to suck in Invicta. And I was able to win 4 in a row, get the title, and get back into the UFC. So I feel like the road to come back into the UFC would have been a lot harder if it wasn't for a promotion like Invicta. Every fight is an all-female card, and you get a lot of top contenders on there just because of that. So I feel like it was a really important promotion. We haven't really seen them put on as many shows recently. I hope someone snatches them up and gives them a lot of money to keep doing that, because it was a really important show when I was coming up. It was important before Tough, too, because strawweights weren't in the UFC. When I got on Tough, I was like, oh man, this Invicta fighter and this Invicta fighter are on the show, you know? So I was kind of starstruck just because that was the only exposure I had to female fighters. So I feel like they can keep using that to keep keep the show going. I'm working for Cage Warriors right now, and they do a similar thing with the UK fighters or with the fighters in Europe, and they have that long history like Invicta does. So I'm hoping Invicta stays active and keeps doing what they do, because that's how you're going to get better and better women in the UFC and in other promotions, by having that proving ground where they're just putting fights on and a bunch of chicks get to fight each other and see who comes out on top.
And last and most important question for me, man or bear? Have you heard it?
No.
The question? Would you rather go into the woods with a man or a bear? Be alone in the woods with a man or a bear?
Depends on the man. Is that what everyone's saying?
Well, most women are saying bear. It's, Yeah, it's a feminist thing, so I'm just curious.
If it was my husband, definitely the man.
Strange man or strange bear?
Oh, strange man.
Yeah, because it's
How
not going to be a man you
strange.
know. A stranger. I should not a strange man.
I don't know. I'm an MMA fighter. I don't scare that easily. Bears will fuck me up. They could have a better chance of a strange guy.
It's funny you mentioned the Ultimate Fighter. We've seen veterans go back and do the Ultimate Fighter again. What would Angela Hill in the Tough House be like now?
Right now?
Yeah,
or-
if you ever went back as now with all the life experience you've had since then, what would you be like in the house now?
Man, I feel like I dominate just because, if everyone else wasn't themselves, I'd have experience on them. But I don't know. I think I've finally come full circle to my mentality back then. When I was 1-0 on Tough, I thought I was going to destroy everyone, and then I got humbled. But now that I've done a ton of fights, now that I've rounded out my skills everywhere, I'm back to that point where I feel like I can destroy everyone. It's just a matter of doing it. So
That's awesome. Last question. You mentioned the Apex and how you obviously would rather fight in front of fans. I think most fighters think the same way, and we've heard Dana say recently that we're trying to get out there. We're trying to get out of the Apex. Do you feel like you can't fight to your best ability here in like an Apex without like maybe the fans? Like, do the fans allow you to go into that extra gear maybe, or go Super Saiyan? Like, what's the difference? Are you able to fight to your best ability here in the Apex without a crowd?
I just think it's easier to fight with a crowd because they're hyping you up. It's like someone's saying world star, like you're not going to walk away from the fight, then you got to do something. So you don't have that in the Apex, not to the same extent. You hear people a little bit, but the coaches are loud and clear. And it's like sparring kind of, but at the same time, a lot of people perform better at the gym. So I think it's just a mentality shift. You got to figure out where you get your energy from. Are you going to use these outside sources to make you put on a better performance, or are you going to dig within and use the grunts of your opponent to push you forward? So I think it's a lot easier to get in that space when there's a crowd pushing you and watching you and oohing and on. But I think the fighters who are more mentally strong, they're going to still do well in the Apex, but it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah, and I'm sure coming to Vegas, everybody thinks about T-Mobile Arena. They think about fighting down by the Strip.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure it's maybe not as exciting when you say no, we're not quite on the Strip. We're off of the freeway in a warehouse type thing. But is it still as special when you say you're fighting in Vegas, even though you're fighting in the Apex?
I think it's special when I know my friends can buy the cheap seats and watch me from the bleachers, and that's the thing that sucks about the Apex is it's such a small arena that there's only a few seats and they're all VIP sections. So I love fighting in T-Mobile because I could walk back to the fighter hotel and people buy me drinks on the way. Like, hey, I just saw you fight. Oh, hey, it's the girl that fought, So I don't know. There was something special about that when I used to do that at the arena shows in Vegas. And I'd be happy to move away from the Apex, but at the same time, I'm getting paid to fight in the Apex, so I'm super happy about the consistency of shows too. If we can move away from the Apex but still put on shows as frequently, then I'm all for it. But if not, put me in the Apex show. I don't care. I just want to keep getting money, So the opportunity to make money is always great. But if it were a choice, arena always.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Edson right here. So another fight week underway. How are you feeling a couple days before your latest fight?
Feel great. It's one more fight week. I think that's gonna be my third fight in UFC. The most important, I'm very happy. You know, I really enjoyed the whole process, and yeah, I'm very, very happy.
And, you know, back in the Apex, what are your thoughts on that? Because obviously they need a type of legend or a superstar to headline these events, but at the same time, you know, your last fight in front of a crowd would have been ridiculous.
I'm a fighter, you know. Of course, I love to fight in front of the people, you know. I love to hear the people, wow, whoa. But I'm a fighter, you know. I think the cage, inside the cage, did not change, you know. It's still the same. Doesn't matter if you have some people around or not. On the Apex, I have, you know, little people. But I'm a fighter, you know. To be honest, I love to fight. I don't, you know, worry about much the people around me.
And so, you know, I know it doesn't make a big difference to you, but there is still kind of like a business aspect to the MMA game. So if you had a choice, would you rather headline an Apex event or be on the main card of a pay-per-view?
Like I said, for me, it's the same, you know. I love to fight. I don't care if it's going to be in the Apex or on the, you know, on the big stage. I'm a fighter. I love to fight. You know, for me, it's 50-50.
And so now you fought a lot of great fighters in your career. Next up is Lerone Murphy, another, you know, younger, hungry contender. What are your thoughts on him, and what do you expect from him in the cage?
He's a really good fighter. You know, he showed, you know, he have 6 fights in UFC, but he showed he's one of the best. Of course, UFC don't give him a chance to fight the main event because he's a nice guy. He's fighting the main event because he deserved, because he's really good. It's going to be a war, like always, you know. Everybody knows every time I step in the octagon, I'm ready for war, and I think Saturday is not going to be different.
You know, I know every time we talk to you, you just let us know you don't really care too much about the opponent. You're not very picky. But with the win here, do you get a little bit more picky? Because I'd imagine you want to, you know, climb up the rankings and not have to just keep fighting these guys that are trying to make a name off of you.
To be honest, I don't like, you know, pick much, you know, because I believe some people need to call some names. I think I don't need, man. Everything that I show for you guys, you know, in 30 fights, I don't need to pick a name. I deserve, to be honest, you know. And, yeah, that's what I think.
And so I have just one more question for you. You know, we heard a little bit from Lerone Murphy before, a little bit from Sadiq Youssef, your past opponents, and they say that you're the kind of opponent that they get a little bit of like awestruck in the moment, like, oh my gosh, I'm fighting Edson Barboza. So what are your thoughts on that, and, you know, them having to kind of deal with that a little bit?
To be honest, you know, I don't think about that, don't worry about that. Yeah, to be honest.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Edson, you picked up your first main event win in your last fight after going 0-3. How did that feel?
Feel great, you know, especially because I have a chance to fight 5 rounds, you know. I trained for 5 rounds, the other fights, but yeah, I don't have a chance to fight 5 rounds. But this one, I fought 5 rounds, and I love it. Like I said, the more time in the cage, more I'm happy. I'm very happy.
And then before you call it a career, do you have to fight for the BMF title? Because I feel like if there's one BMF fighter in the UFC, it's got to be you. You fought everybody.
You said, bro. Have one guy to deserve to fight BMF title? It's me. Because who's have a better highlight than knockout in UFC than me? Bro. Imagine him a fight me. Bro, I love Max Holloway. He's one of my favorite fights ever. I love to watch him. Very nice guy, very family guy. And imagine a fight me against him with the BMF belt.
Crazy,
you know?
Crazy.
It's going to be very, very good for me, for him, for the company. And like I said, man, I have 30 fights. That my next one's going to be my 3rd fight in UFC. I think I deserve that, man. Well, of course, my focus 100% on the next one. But, yeah, I think it's going to be good.
I mean, I'd watch that fight absolutely. What did you think of Max Holloway's knockout of Gaethje at UFC 300?
Bro, he, like I said, man, I love him. I love to watch a whole fight. You know, he show hard. He's a great striker. He play everywhere. Definitely one of my favorite fight ever to watch, man. I think he one of the best ever. It's gonna be a pleasure share the octagon with him.
Thanks, man.
Like you mentioned, you've been in the UFC now roughly 13 and a half years. Like you said, 30th fight. When you came in, when you were roughly, I'm guessing, 24, 25 years old, did you ever think that you would be in the UFC having your 30th fight and still more to come?
To be honest, I don't look much forward, you know. I do step by step, you know, fight by fight. I'm still here. I'm still the same hungry. I'm still, you know, still keep going, still getting better. And when I look back, I was like, wow, that's I have a beautiful life, you know. I really enjoy.
Like you said, you're still trying to get better. Are you still learning new tricks? I mean, are you still learning new techniques, new things? I mean, is it from the new guys coming in, or is it just you reevaluating and figuring things out? But you are still learning new tricks to the trade?
Of course, you have to. If I stop learning, I stop fight. Because, you know, the MMA, it's new sport. It's not a, you know, especially right now, you see a lot of young comers with different techniques. You see, a couple years ago, you don't see much people fighting the both stance. Right now, everybody fights with the both stance. You need to learn. You need to get better every single day. That's one thing that motivates me. Go to the gym every single day. You learn something new. That's making me, you know, keep going, because I know I have a lot of things to learning.
Going off of that, I know a lot of fighters, when they've gotten into the sport, look at you as an inspiration, or look at somebody that they look at the things you've done. Are there some fighters that you can maybe name, new fighters, that you find inspiration, you think like, wow, this kid's really something, or this guy's going to be something? Are there any names of people that you admire that are new to the sport, that are people that you got your eye on?
Yes, of course. I have a couple new guys, of course, but I'm really inspiration with the old guys, you know, because I know how hard this back the day. I can't imagine how hard, you know. This motivated me a lot to keep going. But yeah, I have a lot of new young guys, really, really good, getting better every single day. That's motivated me to keep going, to try catch up with kids.
Well, and again, you're 38. You got Jim Miller, who's 40, who's fighting. What did you think about his last performances, or just how he's been recently? Maybe not the last performance, but recently he's still fighting some of his best MMA right now.
He's still fighting at a high level, you know. He's fighting UFC 300 against Bob Green. It's a great fight, you know. Bob Green catching him with a couple shots, but great fight. He's keep going, man. I think he need to fight more, because he still put some show, you know. You see a lot of, especially the young kids today, I think the most kids don't fight for win. The most important on the kids' mind is not lose. Just don't worry about, you know, the win, and make some boring fight. And you see Jim Miller, he keep going, he keep go hard, go to real fight. That's the most people like it to watch, you know. That's, you see the difference for the young guys and the old guys. That's, I said, the old guys motivate me more.
How much has your training in a fight camp changed from when you were first starting to now? I'm sure you have to take care of the recovery for your body a lot more so, but is it completely night and day of how you started to where you are now?
Bro, it's changed a lot. When I was a kid, when I moved to US, when I signed UFC, I wake up 4 a.m. for teach some private class. I would stay in the gym 4 to 1, go home, eat, back to the gym, go 4 to 8. You know, train all day, kill myself all day, run every day, lift weight every day, eat really, really bad, you know. And right now, when you get older, you need to learn it, you know. Right now, I try, you know, do everything right, hear my body, hear my mind, and that's, I said, I feel better than ever.
And what's the perfect number of fights for you in a year? If you could pick how many?
3.
3?
Yeah, 3 is perfect for me.
Sounds pretty good. Keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure you get your hands raised on Saturday?
Give my best. I think that's going to be the key for this fight. If I go there, give my 100%, give my best, I want to win this fight.
Can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edson, for taking the time. Let me just circle back to what we were talking about with Kenny, how fighters, maybe want to fight not necessarily to win, but not to lose. What has changed? What, in your professional opinion, as someone from that cloth of like a Jim Miller, Donald Cerrone, Nate Diaz, anytime, anywhere, but now it's a little different to where guys want to protect the ranking, don't take, the losses if possible. What changed? What happened?
I don't know, because I believe the young guys looking for the UFC for the business, just worry about to be famous and make money. When I signed UFC, to be honest, on that time, I don't worry about the money. I want fight. That's it. I don't care. It's going to be pay me. I talked to the kids a couple of days ago in the gym. I remember my first MMA fight. He talked about his fight. I asked him, why you don't fight, bro? He said, oh, it's not good money, but he have a 1-2 professional fight. I'll say, bro, my first 6 fight out of UFC, I remember the guy paid me 200 plus 200, bro. What are you talking about? The kids don't want to fight to be, because he's a fighter. He's want to fight for the business, for the money, to be famous. I think that's the big difference, the old guys and the kids right now.
Yes, sir. I agree, and that's a great. Thank you for that insight. You, as a veteran, as someone who carries the sport and represents the UFC proudly, you're still a student of the game. You still get excited. Just even the energy right now is so awesome. How do you find that drive, but still pick up some new tricks along the way, new things in the gym, something new to where you can say, you know what? I haven't tried that before. Let's add this to the Edson Barboza weapons.
Yeah, like I said, I try getting better every day. To be honest, I try getting better every single day. Every time I go to the gym, I try to learn something. And it's a lot of, I looking back, I just train specific things. I try to do something different. I swim, I do bike, I do a couple different things, help me a lot, not only physically, but especially mentally. And I start learning about that, because physically, everybody can do it, but be strong here, that's the hard part. And that's I get focused in last year and this year. Not only stay in the gym training crazy, always try, do some different things. I think I'm best in shape in my life. One of the best camp I have in my career. I'm very happy.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And to what you and Alex were talking about, you, Max Holloway, take my money. Can't wait if that ever happens.
You hear, guys? Please. Donna, you hear that?
Thank you, sir. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Hi guys, how are you?
Themba,
Hello, say how are you?
how are you?
I'm blessed. How are you doing?
Good. First media day. How does that make you feel?
First of many, it's a blessing to be here. I'm grateful just being in the UFC, being an athlete in a great organization. That's the first thing, you know. I'm grateful to just be here, bro. Whether if I was on the media day or not, every single day it's a blessing, and I'm just grateful to be here.
You said that you wanted a quick turnaround. Seems like you got what you wanted, maybe a little bit longer than you wanted. I guess, how does it feel to be as active as you called for?
Everything is according to God's time, so I feel like this is perfect time. What we want is different from what I believe God wants for us. So this was the perfect moment, perfect time, and I'm going to make the most of this.
When the name Ramiz comes across your desk, what do you think of the fight?
Honestly, if I'm to be honest, I didn't know the guy, honestly. And I had to go do my research, and I realized, okay, cool, this is the guy. I've never studied somebody as much as I did for him. And I put in a good training camp, and I brought in one of my wrestling coaches from South Africa. He came here, he's been here for over just 6, 7, 8 weeks here helping me, preparing for this fight and many more to come. And yeah, man, I did my due diligence, and Saturday you guys will see.
On paper, it's a pretty fun fight. So how do you kind of see the fight kind of playing out? Obviously, both of you guys are really good grapplers, but that sometimes leads to striking. Do you think it's as simple as that, or is it going to be a full mixed martial arts fight?
So just to put it out, so I saw like a lot of media. I mean, recently this week, I saw saying a lot of people telling me, not telling me, they're saying, you know, people make their own predictions and everyone is entitled to their own opinions. They're saying Ramiz got better grappling than I do. Okay, cool. We'll find out. But I'm not here to be a grappler. I'm here to be the best welterweight that is in the UFC, and that's mixed martial arts. And if it so happens that we are on the ground, then he should be ready for me there, because I'm not like other guys, man. My grappling is good. Yes, he is a world champion in jiu-jitsu, but blue belt 2019, I did my research. He tried again in 2022. He didn't even place. So I know what I know, and I did my research. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be me and Ramiz. What the opinions and the people and whatever they say, they can keep their opinions to themselves. When we step in that cage, it's me and Ramiz, and that's between us. After that, they can ask him, and he will tell them that that guy is very good. And I also want to clarify this. I see people saying that they don't believe in Themba's hype, Gorimbo's hype, and whatsoever. I didn't get here in the UFC with hype. I got to the UFC through my sacrifice and hard work and dedication, prayers to God. And I sacrificed to be here, not hype. Yes, of course, what happened in my life, the blessing with Dwayne Johnson happened, but it seems like people overlook me because of that story. They overlook me and they focus on the Dwayne Johnson thing. Even Ramiz, I saw his first post when he had this fight. He said, I never liked The Rock anyway. And that just tells me something I need to know. Guys forget they're fighting me, not The Rock. And when it comes to me, I'm hungry. I'm here to succeed. And no matter how good life is, I know my purpose. It's greater than I am.
So how do you get your hand raised on Saturday?
All I know is I'm going to win in spectacular fashion for my coach, whose mother just died like 2 hours ago. He's been here with me for 8 weeks. He tells me his mother is sick with cancer. You know, he never told me, like, it was so bad, you know. I just said to him, okay, man, after the fight, we go back to South Africa together. I didn't have a plan to go there, but I was going to go with him to see his mother. And his mother just died like 3 hours, 2 hours ago, man. And I'm going to win for him. Yeah, here's what it is.
sorry to hear that, but thank you for saying that. Yeah, so I'm assuming you have even more on your shoulders to go into this fight on Saturday.
It's not on my shoulders, man. It's not on my shoulders. I've been wanting to do that anyway because he sacrificed past 8 weeks of his life. You know, obviously I pay him to be here helping me get better with my wrestling and stuff. But I cannot bring his mother back. You understand what I'm saying? And I just wanted to, yeah, it is what it is. It's life. Whatever it is, man.
Thanks, Themba.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, thank you, guys. Bless you.
You guys good? Yeah. Adrian, how you feeling, dude?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing? Doing good. Cutting weight always sucks.
You know, couple days until your fight. Going through fight week. It's been a minute. How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Itching to get back in there. I want to go in there, and man, I just want it to be Saturday, right? Like Saturday, getting to warm up and just taking like the last couple steps in that cage. Like that's all that's on my mind right now. All that's on my mind.
You had your Apex win streak snapped in your last one. We haven't seen you.
Fuck you for bringing that up, man. No, I'm just, lost to a really good guy, man.
We were saying that, maybe we can see Adrian, Mr. Apex Yanez, but maybe.
Oh, damn. Fuck. Oh, shit.
Obviously, we haven't seen you since then. And what was the injury to your leg?
So I tore my meniscus, and I don't know when it tore in the fight, but I just remember like one of the first couple like sent like a shock down my leg, and it felt like my leg was bleeding for some reason. I don't know what it was. Like I think I've only had it once before, but after that moment, like I felt like I couldn't put no pressure on it, whatsoever. So I was like, I was trying to put the best poker face on, but that motherfucker just kept throwing the fucking kicks, and I'm like, damn you, Jonathan. Like, damn you. I was like, and you liked me. Like, we were friends. We shared brownies together.
and then he did that to your leg.
Yeah, no, you fucking asshole. No, it's all love, man. Man, Jonathan's a good dude, man.
Now that you've had some time to reflect on that fight, man, what were the biggest lessons that you took from it?
Honestly, I kind of had changed up my whole stance, like almost like my whole style for that fight, and I had to stay what's true to me. And like, again, like I don't know. I think best way to explain it is I just kept like my mind wasn't really in the fight. It was like kind of like it still like was kind of thinking about like again like the Miami fight, the Font fight. So it was like a kind of a little bit of a struggle going in. That was the first time even whatever loss I've had before, I'd never really thought about my last previous fight before a fight, like walking out, and I was like, fuck. So, for me, it kind of stayed there, but like in that moment, I thought I was was able to like get over it, but no, just at that moment, it just as soon as the first kick that landed, I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then after the second one, I was like, oh shit, something's wrong. Like, and I was like, oh shit. Like, but after that, honestly, like, it was just a downhill battle for me. But again, like, I gotta stay true to myself. I can't change. Can't change for anybody. Can't change for myself, and can't change for anybody else. I gotta be true to myself. So, yeah, like, it was kind of just a tough to get going as well too.
So, sticking with those thoughts, now you're coming off the first 2-fight losing streak of your career. So are those thoughts still there, or is it kind of like you've cleaned it off?
I pretty much, since that, like, after that injury, like, I had a lot of time to sit back and kind of reflect. Man, like, it again, like, once I got to sit down and actually reflect, I actually started kind of getting mad at myself for letting all that kind of get to me, because, again, like, I've done a way better job of being able to compartmentalize a lot of stuff. But again, when you're injured, you can't really put any weight on your leg, especially after surgery, having to be on a machine for fucking 8 hours of the day, like, trying to move it for you, man. Like, it gets you thinking. You're fucking pissed off at the world and all that stuff. So for me, I was like, I had a lot of time to, like, kind of sit and think and just realize that, like, I did that to myself. I didn't really address it. I just moved forward thinking I was gonna be all right. But no, like, being injured kind of forced me to address it. And right now, like, in my mindset that I'm in right now, I'm just like, man, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. There's nothing, like, yeah, those fights were those fights are in the past. This one's a new one in front of me, but I'm gonna go out there and fucking kill this guy.
And obviously, you've been a UFC darling since you've come into the promotion with all the fans behind you. Did you have any fans kind of turn their back on you and kind of start talking shit?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it's been like the worst ones are the fucking the parlay guys. You fucking ruined my parlay. I was like, fuck you and your parlay, bro. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, this your dumb ass for betting, bro. But that's why it's called gambling, bro. Fuck. But no, that's But again, it's also like, I'd seen it done to me. I can have, like, again, I can have that reaction, close my phone and be done with it. But then I open my phone and I start seeing it done to other fighters, and I'm just like, bro, like, that guy's a good guy. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, y'all don't fucking know these people. You're talking mad shit. And I'm like, bro, bro, I don't know. It gets annoying, especially whenever I watch it happen to other fighters. For me, I'm like, fuck it, it is what it is, For me, every once in a while, on Instagram, I'll choose one fucking guy and I'll go after that motherfucker. I'll go after that one motherfucker. Everybody else, I'm just like, delete, block. So I'm like, I don't want that negativity in my life. But if I get that one motherfucker, I'm telling you. Wait, am I supposed to be cussing? My bad. I'm too relaxed right now.
So then they come with you with the name Vinicius. Did you know who he was at all?
At the moment, no. No, like, I honestly, the way it happened, I remember I was training over here in Vegas. While we're training, Jason pulls me over. He's like, hey, you got to fight. I was like, okay, cool. Went back to training, and I was like, I didn't really even, like, stop to even talk or think about it. 5 minutes later, I was like, wait, who am I fighting? And then they told me Vinicius. Like, oh, okay. Went back to training. And 5 minutes later, I come back and like, who the fuck is Vinicius? I was like, hey, didn't know who he was, but then I looked and I was like, oh, I've seen this guy before. I'm not good with names, not good with names. So I remember seeing his face. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly who this guy is. But yeah, I was kind of like, again, like, it was one of those things. It's like, oh, he's coming up from flyweight, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I think we had lunch. The names that I was talking about too. That completely hit me out of left field whenever I got Vinicius out of the blue. So I was like, yeah, but at the same time, man, I'm glad. I got a fight. I'm glad that I got one in May. I was looking for a fight to get back in there. I wanted to get back in there by the time we had that lunch. So it was like, for me, I wanted to go out there and, like, be in there ASAP. So I was just glad I got a name, glad I got a date, and that made everything else kind of fall into place for me.
Obviously, you've had time to study this guy now, and what do you think of the matchup?
I think it's a fantastic matchup for me. All I gotta do is, like, keep my base, stay technical, tactical, and just making sure that I make it a beautiful disaster for him. Like, just make sure that I hit him, and make sure that whenever I hit him that he feels it. And again, like, I can't get away from my base because I gotten away from it one too many times, and I've worked on that this whole camp, like, making sure that, like, I got my base. Because again, for me, the way I look at this fight is, as long as I stay tight and I stay clean, like this should be an easy dub.
Is it going to be one of those finishes where you're just going to be like,
Yeah.
you remember me now?
Honestly, I'm gonna let it feel whatever it feels in the moment, man. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, like I'd be happy with this, like, because again, if I finish this guy, I'm not gonna be happy. Like again, like it's one of those. For me, it's like, yeah, I was supposed to do this. I'm supposed to be doing, like, in my head, where I'm at, like mentally, is like I'm supposed to be doing what I like what I've done, like my first 5 fights in the UFC. I'm supposed to be doing that to everybody, you know. So for me, I'm not gonna be I wouldn't be happy, you know. In this moment that I'm talking to you, yeah, I'm like, it might be, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna feel, but right now in this moment, I'm not gonna be happy. But who knows? I might go in there and knock him out and be like, oh fucking shit, yeah, I knocked this motherfucker. Yeah, so I don't know. It just depends. Honestly, it just depends.
And finally, you trying to hop on that Spear card?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a once in a lifetime thing. I would 100% love to fight in the Sphere. You know, I would just like to see like the aesthetics of it, you know. Probably catch yourself, you know, you land a good shot, you look up at the screen trying to be like, oh shit, and the whole screen, you just gotta look up wherever you turn, you got the fucking screen in front of you, so you're like, oh shit, damn, like it's all around you. I think that would be a really cool experience. I'd 100% be down for that.
Thanks, man.
You don't think you'll be distracted, like logistically speaking, because we've been thinking about how they're going to actually pull that off, because I feel like you'd be distracted by that, right?
See, yeah, I think I would be. I think I would be, but also too, like, I think if I hit the guy, I think the guy's gonna be looking at that too. He's like, oh shit, like, damn, I just got hit, and like, there's no way nobody missed this, you know. So that's the way I'm thinking about it, you know. For me, if I were to fight at the Sphere, that would be one thing that I would have to try to do, is making sure that I stay focused, stay honed in, zoned in, and yeah, just let it fly, you know, just let it fly. Because again, it's gonna be really cool having a highlight reel just played all over the screens like that.
You'd have to prepare for that by like sparring in Best Buy with
all
the TVs
100%.
around or
Yeah, you got to get all the TVs around you. Yeah.
Thank you, my man, for taking the time.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Let me circle back real quick to what you were talking about with Alex,
Okay.
the dark side of the losses,
Yeah.
of the ups and downs of the fight game. Was there anything good that came of it? What was give me the positive of that?
Oh yeah, the positive is realizing what mistakes I made. Like again, like I'm one of those guys that like once I get the overall view like of how my year was or how my fights went, I usually try to not to make the same mistake twice. And 2023, I noticed I got way too comfortable. You know, I thought I was doing all the right things, but again, it just wasn't the right things. You know, so for me, mentally preparing and also physically preparing and also like technically preparing as well too. So for me, I can't, like, I'm not letting that shit fucking happen again, you know. So I gotta go out there and, you know, perform at the highest of levels. And if I'm gonna perform at the highest levels, I gotta make sure I don't get comfortable, because you get comfortable, you stop doing everything at the highest level. You're just doing just enough to get by, and I'm not with that anymore.
Was this a part of it also because you still are a fan favorite?
Mm-hmm.
These low key like oh, this is the people's main event, and you know, like straight
Yeah.
up, like that you saw it on paper, like, man, this one right here, this weekend's fight, is also one that's going to be a potential fight of the night. But how hard is to fight that off, to be like, okay, like let me stay sharp, let me stay focused before I get sucked into that, like Yanez, the star versus the athlete, the professional fighter?
Yeah, I'm just able to try. Like, I've been able to compartmentalize a lot of that stuff. Just put it behind my head. I don't even think about it anymore. You know, again, goes back to like just as like everybody's like, still a lot of people love me and all that stuff, fan favorite. Also in the troll aspect as well too. Like I just see it, I turn it off. I'm able to get off and not even have to think about it. I'll just sit back and all right, cool. Just never happened. You know, again, I appreciate the love and support 100%, but again, like, you're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. So again, that's the mindset I had. I'm gonna go out there and just making sure I'm tactical, and I'm making sure that I'm making it look clean.
Excellent, sir. And last for me, just for the education,
Okay.
for everybody watching, when you said away from my base, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, no, away from my base is like pretty much like I've gotten out of stance. I was squared up with him. Like the finishing sequence was me being squared up, and I'm swinging from like way back where, trying to fucking knock him out, trying to get him off me. But again, that was me, my base, my head was off placement, so there was a lot of things I can look at that tactfully, and that's where I meant like where my base, making sure that my legs aren't underneath me.
And this feels like I'm talking with you and Dom Cruz or something.
Yeah, yeah, we just had a conversation not too long ago. Now I'm kidding. No,
No,
kidding.
man.
Yeah.
Sir, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's go. Yeah, thank y'all guys. Thank y'all.
Mondo, that reminds me of the one meme when it's like, hey, you're both a fighter.
Tem Nashville na frente? Não, só atrás eu vi.
Oi?
Welcome back. Fight week, Las Vegas. How's everything been? How do you feel? How's the preparation been for your about this weekend?
Seja bem-vinda, mais uma semana de luta, Las Vegas. Como é que está se sentindo? Como é que foi a tua preparação para essa luta?
Estou me sentindo muito bem. Tive um ótimo camp onde eu pude treinar com bastante pessoas diferentes, bastante pessoas duras. Vim um pouco antes para Vegas, 4 semanas antes, então consegui me adaptar bem ao clima, já entrar no clima de luta. Então eu estou me sentindo muito bem e muito bem preparada.
Feeling great, feeling good about the camp. Had a camp in which I fought a lot of different people, a lot of tough people as well. Have been able as well to come to Vegas. So it's been about 4 weeks that I've been here in Las Vegas, getting adapted to, just to different training styles, also to the climate. So I'm feeling great and feeling very prepared for this fight.
Excellent, very good to hear. We didn't get to talk to you in the last fight. It didn't necessarily go according to plan, I know, but I have to ask, what did you learn from that? What were you able to take away from that last fight that you had?
Bem, a gente não conseguiu falar com você depois da última luta. Obviamente a luta não foi da maneira como você queria, mas qual foi o aprendizado que você levou do teu último confronto para agora?
Então, eu cometi alguns erros na luta que me custaram bem caro, né? Mas que foi um ótimo aprendizado para rever o que estava acontecendo, o que aconteceu, o que eu posso melhorar. Então, foi uma luta boa. Eu acho que eu consegui mostrar evolução na minha trocação. Gostei da minha apresentação. Claro que o final ali não foi nada legal, né? Me custou a derrota, mas que foi uma luta que eu pude evoluir bastante, eu aprendi bastante com ela.
There was an opportunity. I think I made some mistakes that ended up costing me a lot. But at the end of the day, and that's how, what the result wasn't the expected. But I think I was happy with my striking, with my evolution, and how some things, obviously, it's just towards the end that I ended up losing the fight. But it was a great learning opportunity, and there was a lot of stuff to take care for the next fight.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. A lot of fighters nowadays want to, or some, protect their ranking. They don't want to fight down against someone who's not on that same, area, that same number. But you're taking on someone that they could definitely benefit. Was much respect for that, but was this much just to get back in the ring, move past that loss, or what was it about the name that interested you to get in there with her?
Muitos lutadores e lutadoras tentam proteger o seu status, o seu ranking, a sua posição. E, obviamente, que existe um benefício, um valor muito grande quando um atleta está disposto a enfrentar qualquer pessoa. Como é que você vê essa luta? Você vê que foi uma questão de posicionamento? Você vê o nome? O que é importante para você de estar enfrentando a Andy Hill?
Então, a Ângela é uma atleta bastante experiente, ela já tem muita luta dentro do UFC, da carreira dela, e ela já enfrentou, eu acho que praticamente quase todo mundo ali do ranking, né? Acaba que ali no ranking não tem muito para onde correr, você vai acabar enfrentando adversárias que estarão abaixo de você, mas que número para mim não importa, eu acho que o que eu tenho que focar é em evoluir, fazer as minhas lutas, vencer, e o que eu alcançar vai ser uma coisa naturalmente, porque eu não acredito que para você disputar um cinturão você tenha que estar no número 1, no número 2, que foi até o caso do Alexandre Pantoja agora, que ele enfrentou um cara quase lá no final do ranking, né? Então, o ranking não me importa, é apenas um número. O meu foco é entrar lá, dar o meu melhor e sair com a vitória.
I think Angie Hill is a very experienced fighter, someone who's, a tough fighter, who's been around for quite some time, so she's faced everybody and for so many years. And obviously, it comes a point that you run out of opponents to actually face. So when I looked at this, I just wanted to make sure that it was a good fight for me. That's what I care about is what I can get out of this fight. It's not because it's not about the numbers. I mean, I can't worry about who's there. It's not about the numbers. Obviously is a name, but we have to think like it doesn't matter to me to actually be in a certain position because it kind of doesn't matter sometimes. You don't necessarily need to be the number one contender or number 2 or 3 or 4. Look at Pantoja just now. I mean, the guy was in Rio facing somebody who wasn't even up there in the rankings, and Steve Erceg actually got a chance to fight him. So I think it really doesn't matter to just the opportunity to fight someone who will fight you and who will accept the fight, and so the numbers don't matter. It's just about what you can get out of the fight.
Agreed completely. And people absolutely get so much out of your fights because it's action, action, action. Such a fan-friendly style. What can we expect this weekend? What are anything new you're bringing to the table? What are we looking forward to this Saturday when you take on Angela?
Concordo plenamente. Eu acho que também o público gosta muito das lutas que você traz, porque você vem com muita ação, você é uma atleta ativa dentro da tua luta. E é um estilo que a galera gosta de ver. Então, o que a gente pode esperar você lutando contra a Andy Hill nesse sábado?
Pode esperar a mesma Luana de sempre, que entra lá para deixar tudo, deixo todo o meu coração lá dentro. E é isso que eu vou fazer. Eu sou assim e é assim que vai ser sempre.
You can expect the same one as always. Someone is going to go with it all. That's just going to go for it, leave her heart out there, and this is always the way it's always been and the way it's always going to be forever.
Excellent. Thank you so much and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Obrigado. Boa sorte sábado. All good on this? Good. É isso aí.